Now, if you've ever wondered whether it's possible to make 1K per day with Amazon KDP, I'm here to tell you that it definitely is. It's not clickbait content. December is the highest earning month of the year for most self publishers. And last December, I was actually able to have multiple days earning over $1,000, with the highest day being over $1,400. Now, when I started in 2020, it took me actually 6 months to even earn 1K per month. But after years of publishing, I've learned actually what it takes to get to this level of 1K per day. And I'm going to share a few things for you in this video. So why is this actually possible during December, as it's the holiday season and people are in gift buying frenzy? They are looking for something to gift to their close ones, family members, people at work, people around them. And during this month, people are purchasing in multiple. So they're not just going onto Amazon buying one thing, but they're just buying whatever they can to give as a gift. So conversion rates will usually climb, ads will perform much better, and demand usually skyrockets. In that month alone, last December, I was able to sell 6,546 books, averaging $4.01 per book. And December definitely just gives you this highest chance to hit 1K per day if your books actually match what the customers are buying. So, what did actually change for me, and why did I finally start seeing 1K days? As for many years, I was actually just publishing low quality books, following generic advice. But a few things that actually made me see a significant difference in my books was that I started to actually publish fewer and better books. I spent so much more time actually researching niches deeply and came up with my own strategy for validating niches. I then actually invested in high quality covers. I also learned how to run profitable ads. And then I also raised my prices just to match the value of the book. And these changes actually led from a massive increase of 259% from December 2023 to December 2024. And I'm going to run through a few of these in more detail. So, the first thing you need to be thinking about is actually matching the demand and validating your niche. So, to make real money, you need to align with the December demand and actually be creating giftable Q4 books. So, this includes things such as activity books, coloring books, you've got kids' story books, holiday books, planners, journals, and calendars. During December alone, a lot of these books make crazy amounts of money, but you really need to be focusing in and around these books if you want to see that higher income. But a mistake a lot of people make is, yes, you might be creating these types of books, but you really need to focus on the keywords that are in demand during this season. So a great way of doing this is actually looking through at the BSRs on Amazon, as a low BSR indicates proven demand. And if similar books are also selling well, so can your book too. If we take a look on Amazon, and as an example, I've typed in Eagle coloring book at the top. Now, the first thing you want to be seeing is the Eagle coloring book is actually being searched for in the Amazon search bar, as we can see here, as this indicates that people are actually looking for this type of book. And then we want to see the search results. Again, we don't want to be competing with, 20, 50,000, 100,000 books. So we've got just around 4,000 here, which isn't too bad. And the next thing we actually want to take a look at is specifically on the first page is the BSRs. Now, we really want to be seeing a low BSRs under 100,000, as this would show that there is definitely demand and books are selling. The lower the BSR is, this indicates the level of demand. So let's say you're seeing BSRs of 10,000 and below, then that would indicate a huge amount of demand. But right now, the lowest I've seen is around 216,000, which, just as it shows here, it's not making a huge amount of sales. We've got another one over 1.3 million. Then we've got another book here over 3 million. And if we keep on scrolling, we're not really seeing books with very low BSRs. So this would tell me straight away not to create this type of book, as there isn't a huge amount of demand. So you need to take some time and actually look at the keywords you're targeting. And if you are seeing books with low BSRs, there is demand. If you're not seeing this and you're seeing high BSRs, then it's going to be very difficult for this particular book to sell. The second point is that your book must be a bestseller or look like one. The top books always win because they actually look premium, their covers stand out, and they look like the best option on the page. So customers will always go for their books because they literally stand out. And you have to be honest with yourselves and look at your book covers and ask, are they actually the best in your category? So if we look at the Eagle example again, this was the first book that was actually released within this niche. You can see it was released in December the 3rd. And anybody else who came after this, we can take a look at this book here. He's actually copied the same exact design. We can see the eagle in the background and then the exact same text in front, similar to this cover as well. The eagle in the background, I got the same exact text, the white text in on the cover, and they're not really doing anything else to make their books stand out. So that's exactly why their books have a much higher BSR than this book that came out first. They're just never going to be able to compete with that book because there's nothing that makes it stand out. This book has the most reviews, so customers are always going to lean towards that book. That's why you need to do something different, whether you can maybe use a different font, a different type of image on the cover. Maybe you can have like some sort of bonus on the front. You really need to value stack your book covers so people will automatically be attracted to yours and buy it. Just by making a simple improvement, such as maybe using an AI tool. I've got several videos on Ideogram. You can see how some of these covers are really, really simple and attractive, and they're just made with AI. It just takes a few seconds using a prompt, or even just hire somebody on a Fiverr, and I'm sure they can do a much better job than maybe just yourself creating something in Canva. And the second thing on top of this is that your categories actually matter even more than most people think. And you need to actually choose categories that actually fit your book, they have active buyers, and actually give you ranking potential. And the tool I use for this is BookBeam. It does have a category explorer on the side. So depending on the marketplace that you're selling your book in, and even the format of book that you are selling, then you can even choose the different categories that you might think your book can be put in. And then also I like to choose the top one rank because I want my book to become a bestseller. But your book doesn't even have to have a crazy low BSR for it to become a bestseller. I've just ticked the 20k to 40k rank, and then I've selected things such as children's book, history, sports and outdoors, travel. And scrolling down, we've got a lot of different categories here. So let's say you created a Caribbean travel activity book for kids or something like this, then it would only need a BSR of 24,893 in the US market for it to become a bestseller, which again is much more achievable than having to get maybe a 1,000 or 2,000 BSRs. This would just equate to maybe a few sales per day, but this is definitely achievable using a tool like this. And it has many other features, and I've got a link for it in the description. But using something like this has helped many of my books become bestsellers. But just make sure that you are putting your book within the right categories, as you don't want to be risking your account and just putting it in a category for the sake of it becoming a bestseller. Third, one of the biggest things that you can do to hit 1k per day is actually creating complementary books. Now, when I was hitting this number on multiple days, it wasn't just one book, it was from several books or actually related to each other. And customers actually rarely go onto Amazon and just buy one book. Usually they will buy several different types of books or products as they want to get several different gifts. And Amazon makes it very difficult to go on there and just buy one thing. So something you can think about is maybe offering a series, activity bundles, matching books, same theme variations. So the shopper going onto Amazon, they'll want to buy maybe another copy that complements that same book. And this is how 1K per day will happen much faster. A great example of this is the Hear Your Story book brand. So we have firstly the Mum, I Want to Hear Your Story. So this is just a mother's guided journal to share her life and her love as well. So this is something that you'd really want to get your mum. And then they also have a Dad, I Want to Hear Your Story too. So again, if you've got both your parents, these are two books that you want to get for them. On top of that, they've also got the Grandmother, I Want to Hear Your Story, Grandfather, I Want to Hear Your Story as well, Aunt, I Want to Hear Your Story too. So there's several books that somebody going onto this brand can actually get, and that's how you end up actually getting much more sales and also repeated customers as well that will want to maybe come back and buy more books. And this is how you can really build out a brand and stand out against your competitors. And then to go even wider, you can actually start translating some of your books as well to other markets to really establish it as an international brand on Amazon. But this is one of the best brands that is doing this on Amazon. So make sure you take the time, look through their books, and just be inspired by their ideas. They're also promoting their book on TikTok too. So that's another way to really get traffic to your books as well. So without this fourth step, it's going to be very difficult for you to reach that 1K per day target. And you must be ready to commit to spending money on ads. And ads are behind all the scaling and everything that you're going to do to reach this level. Some people aren't really honest about how they use ads, but from the amount I made, over $26,000, I was able to actually spend $6,281 to reach this amount, and it gave me a 25.19% ACOS. And yes, you might think that is a huge amount to be spending. I didn't start out spending that amount, but I've always just reinvested my earnings back into the KDP business. But regardless of it, you will have to spend some sort of money on ads to get your books out there so people can see them. And especially with the demand being so high in December, you will be spending more money. So you have to be prepared for that. But this is why I always recommend increasing the price of your books, especially if they are bestsellers and they are the most outstanding books within the niche, because these higher prices are just going to give you more chance to actually have more profit when you are running ads. But you can only run ads and they be profitable if you've actually followed all the steps I've mentioned in this video. So if your keywords are actually in demand, if you have the best covers, if you can help your book to become a bestseller, you've got a good solid description, you've got solid reviews as well, then ads is only going to compound those results. But if you're not doing those steps, then you're just going to be spending, wasting money, and you're going to be disappointed with the results. So don't look at ads as some sort of magic dust. Make sure you are following the steps. I like to run at least 3 different ads on a book at minimum. That'll be an automatic ad, that'll be a manual keyword ad, and that'll be a manual product ad. And if you'd like maybe a strategy video on this, then I can do that. But ads are always going to compound your results massively. So a quick recap of all the points that I've mentioned. So if you want a record breaking December where you are earning over 1K per day, then firstly, just make sure you are picking high demand niches and making sure you're validating it using the steps that I mentioned. Secondly, take time to improve your covers. Make sure that they stand out and they're actually better than the rest of the covers within your niche. Thirdly, as previously mentioned, just validate your keywords. Take the time to ensure that you do have low BSRs, and then even take time just looking through customer reviews and things like that to see how you can make your book a little bit different. And fourth is publish complementary books. Most people are going on to Amazon, they're not just going to buy one product, but they do usually buy several things. So if you can create other complementary books that can entice readers, then you're more likely going to get more sales and earn more money. Fifth is plan your ads budget. So just make sure that you have some sort of amount to allocate to ads, as this is what's going to grow your books the fastest and get traffic to it the quickest. But make sure you followed all the previous steps to ensure that you do get a positive result. And then six is just make sure you are following proven strategies. So you are listening to people that not just only have results, but are actually helping you to get those results as well. There's no point following people who don't have any results or anything to prove, and they're just telling you to go into niches. So I hope those steps actually help. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer your questions.